All right, welcome. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Beautification and Arts Advisory Committee. Today is May 19th, 2025. We do have a quorum. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Our first item on the agenda here is to approve the minutes from the last meeting. All in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Our next item, we have to elect a vice chair. Tabitha Howard was our vice chair last year. I would like to nominate her again this year. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Tabitha, congratulations.
Thanks.
I guess the main objective of today's meeting, for me anyways, was just to update that we have added the Greenway Advisory Committee duties to this committee. So that will take place. I thought it made the most sense, and the board agreed that since a lot of our discussion here in the Beautification Committee talked about improvements to the Greenway and what we can do to beautify the area around the Greenway, so it only naturally made sense that we took on those responsibilities. With that being said, we were kind of in the middle of some things with the Greenway as far as talking about the Greenway expansion. Can you just touch on that a little bit, Andrew, what the idea was?
Okay. Yeah, so the greenway that's currently located back here where near Shreveman is located, and the roundabout, we were going to do a 1.3 mile extension from the roundabout down to the boat ramp that is located on Stones River Road. That was going to have in the future, a couple of fishing piers. It was going to be completed in phases, but the initial phase would be the actual walking trail with a parking lot, and then hopefully in the future do a pavilion with some, like I said, fishing piers. We had originally talked about a kayak launch. The Corps had came back and said if we basically wanted to do that, then we would have to take on all the responsibilities of maintaining the parking lot. So I think back then the city stepped away from that aspect of it. We have engineering fees that we had talked about. They're roughly $400,000. Those have been pushed to the 26-27 budget year. So that basically goes through all the permit fees, the engineering, the geotechnical aspects of engineering, and then from there, BOMA would have to approve funding for the actual project.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, we had $400,000 go through from the last fiscal year, correct?
Yes, that was in the budget. Our engineering department handles that, and I believe mainly they've been tied up probably with all the construction projects the city's had. But as of right now, BOMA has moved that $410,000 to the 26-27 year fiscal budget year.
Well, we have no money from this fiscal year, or we do. It is just earmarked for the engineer department as of now.
When I had just talked to the city administrator, he told me that it would be for the 26-27 fiscal budget.
And I'll have to clarify that with the city administrator then. I believe it was in last year's budget that we had 400, I think 416.
It was right over $400,000.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that the idea behind that is if we go ahead and get the engineering done, but the money's not there to actually complete the project, then there's a timeline on that aspect also that those plans basically would not be good. So we want to be able to streamline everything at one process and complete the project and fund it all at the same time.
And so a lot of the discussion, at least the board had this year, had leaned a little bit more away from focusing on the Greenway expansion project and trying to reserve that funding for infrastructure purposes for South Waldron Corridor and some other infrastructure. That's my understanding, right?
That is my.
I was at the meeting. That's what I got from it.
That's.
But they're kind of shying away from following through with Greenway expansion. Just so we can focus a little bit more on roadway improvements around Laverne. And as much as I love the Greenway project, would love to see this happen, I do think that there is a desperate need for the city of Laverne to improve our infrastructure with a growing population. So that has kind of been deferred. So again, that was kind of my priority with this meeting, to bring everybody up to speed on where the board is at with funding for the Greenway project. And that's the reason why I was asking a little bit more about the budget, was because I would, however, like to see us try to do a pavilion, something at the ramp for the community. Even if that's something that we tie in Greenway expansion at a later date where we actually do the trail, the fishing piers and all of that. But I would like to see some type of pavilion, picnic area brought to Hurricane Creek Ramp in the near future, especially, like I said, if we're deferring the rest of this project, I think minimally, that would be something that we could offer the community. Any other thoughts on that? Anything else that you would add? You think it's a bad idea? Don't hesitate to chime in.
We would have to take on the responsibility of upkeep on anything like a pavilion or anything like that.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I like the idea of the picnic area or something to that effect, something that would be a lighter load for us to take care of, but still provides plenty for the community.
And Andrew, I believe we talked, if we do a pavilion, it will likely be up closer to the roadway. Is that correct? As opposed to down near the parking lot, because we're not.
If we were to do a pavilion, I would assume that we would still have to go through all the permitting through the Corps of Engineers. They would have to approve that. And then even at that, they may still want the city to take on the financial obligation of the entire boat ramp. So whether that includes the paving, the daily trash maintenance, the mowing of it, the actual concrete ramp going down into the water, that might be a financial obligation or stipulation that they want to include if we were to do that. So it'd have to be an avenue that we'd have to research, but.
Yeah. Do you know, does Metro take care of like Anderson Road, like that? Do they take care of that?
I'm not sure on that one.
Those boat ramps?
Yeah, it just depends. I believe some municipalities are contracted, and then some are the Corps Engineers subcontracts that out to different entities.
Anybody else have anything they want to add?
In that interim, is there any way we could do like a trash pickup organization, like a trash walk? Because it's pretty gross walking down there. Like I go that way a lot, and just there's wash up, and then there's also just discard trash down there. And I don't put my kayak in there because there's a lot of fishing debris around.
Specifically around Hurricane Creek?
Yeah, so like when you take the not real Greenway all the way down, it's pretty trashy in some parts.
On that, I wonder, I know that on the stormwater board, they were talking about doing like creek cleanups sometime. I wonder if we could join forces with them and see if we can.
Yeah, I know Alexandra Thompson that's on the stormwater team. She does creek cleanups around Laverne, so that's definitely somebody we'd want to reach out to and partner with there.
What was the name again?
It's Alexandra Thompson.
I know a couple years ago they did one, and they partnered with like a couple sponsors.
I believe there's some
Well.
corporate companies that came in and had a trash pickup day. We had a dumpster there at the main parking lot and some portable restrooms. And that's a great idea too, possibly speaking out to some companies to see if they'd like to sponsor, because they use their community service hours for their job.
I know that I think it's one of the big trash companies does like a bunch of community outreach for stuff like that. I think it's WM does community outreach stuff. They might be a really good sponsor.
I do also want to add that the 5 informational signs that are on the Greenway have been taken out, and they are actually going to be put back in hopefully this week. They have been updated. Just the imaging and words were starting to fade from the original Greenway project, so that is a update. I just want to give you info on.
Is this expansion that we're looking at at the roundabout, that part that's like kind of the
Yeah,
cracked pavement back there?
Yes, it's like the old road bed that goes down alongside the lake.
Great suggestion. I did, with our next meeting being listed here until October 20th, 2025, I don't know how aggressive y'all want to be about this, but, I mean, I'm going to make a motion that we increase our meeting frequencies, that we just follow up behind Parks and Rec every other month.
I like that.
I mean, if we really want to do something,
Yeah.
we can't do something,
It was really
organize
difficult.
something every 4 months, you know? I would, you know, if we meet right behind Parks and Rec 2 months from now, I would expect us by then to have a confirmed trash pickup, have that sorted out, and be able to make an announcement about a date and how we're moving forward with that. That'll give me plenty of time to talk to Bruce to see if the pavilion idea is a no-go with budget or not, and we can talk a little bit more about that next time.
I agree.
I think as long as we're having like more consistent projects, then I think every other month makes the most sense. I think we were just like really stale for a while there.
It's hard for us to make movement with meeting every 4 months. I mean, it's good to talk ideas and stuff, but it's hard for us to actually be active in those ideas.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair point.
Yeah. So if we're all in agreement to that, that would put our next meeting at what date?
I think it was July 21st. July 21st.
I won't be in town.
Okay. Is everybody in agreement on that?
Yes.
Sounds like a good
Mhm.
idea?
Yeah.
I just won't be in town on the 21st.
I can do that.
Okay. Okay. Does that work for everybody? Anybody else have anything else they wanted to add? Like I said, today was more of just I definitely wanted to, with us not having a quorum last month, I definitely wanted to get everybody together, bring everybody up to speed with the changes, so everybody was on the same page, and I'm glad we were able to move up to a little bit more frequent meetings to get things moving. So I guess for next, in July, we plan to have a date in mind for the trash pickup. And again, I will get with Bruce and talk to him a little bit more about the budget. And then we can pick up a pavilion discussion if there is funds to be had.
I also, I actually emailed Alexandra in the parking lot here
Okay,
on my way here,
great.
asking about the pickup, if you want me to get in contact with you about that afterwards.
That would be great. I'll go ahead and delegate that to you,
Yeah.
Ashley. And you can feel free to reach out with me, any updates with a firm date, anything like that.
Cool.
That'll be great. Anything else? All right, well, I think with that, I will call this meeting adjourned.